The word uncertain has been used to describe a lot of Trump's proposed economic policies. What might be some of his economic policies in the first year?
My answer would be, as we know, Trump is, the firm believers in tariff. As a result, during his campaign, he mentioned many times, he will use the tariff, to counter the negative impact on the U.S. As a result, I think the major difference between Trump and Biden is Biden major imposed tariff on mainland China. However, during the campaign, Trump mentioned about he will apply the tariff, not only on mainland China, but also on he will set up with so-called universal tariff that will impose on all the U.S. imports. Of course, that will include Taiwan and other countries. In particular, he will also, emphasize on, to prohibit the electric vehicles export to the U.S. from Mexico. So he will also target a very high tariff on the Mexico product. So that will create very, very significant uncertainty, around the world, because tariff is we so-called old fashioned. It's an old trade policy tool that was used in last century.
So, if Trump does apply these tariffs to China and a universal tariff to many other nations, what might be the downstream effect for Taiwan?
After the U.S.-China trade war, we can see a very significant change in the Taiwanese export structure, which means we our export to mainland China declined significantly. Instead, our export to the U.S. increased. I can give you some new figures. According to the first 9 months of this year, our export to the U.S. already account one quarter of our Taiwanese total exports. U.S. is already Taiwan's second largest export market. As a result, if Trump impose a universal tariff on the world, that will of course, slow down our export momentum.
So, what and might be a quite turbulent economy, what are the opportunities and challenges for Taiwan?
At first, I would say what is the challenge? I think not only for Taiwan, also for the other East Asian countries. The first one is Biden's policy is we so-called made by US, which means you have to move out from China to set up factories, in the East Asia, in Taiwan, in Mexico. That is acceptable for Biden administration. However, Trump is very, very upset about the firms, the factories not set up in the US. So he will change Biden's mindset from made by the US to the made in the US, which means in order to to not to occur the retaliation from the US, maybe Taiwanese firm may have to invest in the US, not only the TSMC, we can see in the future many other Taiwanese firms, in order to avoid the US, the high tariff or the retaliation, they have to invest in the US.